I don't usually make response videos. And I don't usually make videos while I'm at work. I'm technically at work. But I just watched Anthony Fantano's video addressing the controversy surrounding Dave Chappelle's new special, The Closer, and Netflix's response to the controversy. And full disclosure, I love the special. I really liked it. I got what he was trying to say. And I also love Anthony Fantano. I think he has very solid opinions. He's well spoken. He's articulate. I really appreciate his nuanced thoughts about all sorts of topics regarding music, film, anything in the media. I really do like his content, and I do not hate him. This is not a hate video on him. However, I must say that his new video I found very weird. I say weird because when it comes to Fantano, especially with his content, I always felt as though his opinions came from a place of well-researched thought and that he truly understood what was going on in a certain situation, especially if he's addressing a situation. He always seemed like somebody that looked deeper into the matter and, again, would give a nuanced response to said situation. In his latest video, I must say, and I will link the video in the description, but in his latest video, I feel like he was just kind of reiterating a lot of the responses that I've been hearing from people who do not understand the situation or what even caused Netflix to do the things that they did. Like, first of all, his contention or his issue with like Netflix is the fact that while they're defending Dave Chappelle's freedom to say what he wants to say in his special, he feels as though Netflix is not giving the employees, the trans employees, that same sort of wiggle room or that same sort of space to express themselves, which is completely false. It's false. Even in the article that he read, it even says that they are open for them to have those types of discussions or to have these sort of feelings. But where the line is crossed, Mr. Fantano, is the fact, and this is something, again, that I was really upset because you brushed off the fact that these employees crossed the line. They didn't get in trouble because of something that they said. There was nothing about what they said. It was their actions that they got in trouble for. The trans employees, the 3 that were suspended, they were suspended not because of what they said. They were suspended because they tried to make their way into an executive-only meeting. They tried to hijack that meeting when they weren't allowed to be in there. Okay, that's breaking company protocol. If I was to walk in to a department chair meeting for all of the different subjects at the school, and I just decide to sit there and then also to chime in and give my thoughts on things, I would be reprimanded, as with anybody would be in any sort of job situation where you are in a situation or a meeting that you are not supposed to be in. You would be reprimanded for it. That was why they were suspended. As for the trans employee that was fired, they weren't fired because they were starting a protest. In fact, they're still doing the protest if I'm correct or not. They were fired because they leaked privileged information, private information. It's akin to doxing. It's akin to doxing. You cannot disseminate that type of information, especially without permission. That's the problem. I have no problem with them voicing their problems with the special. And I'm pretty sure Netflix also does not have a problem. But the problem comes on the business side of things, Mr. Fantano. Something that you failed to address in your video. You didn't even mention the fact that they snuck into that executive only meeting and that's why they were suspended. You make it seem as though it was a war of opinions and that Netflix was siding with one content creator over another. And clearly, if you did the research, Mr. Fantano, and I expected you to, I mean, it's not hard. They were not suspended for their thoughts. They were suspended because they crossed the line, business-wise. And Netflix is a freaking business, and they will watch out for their financial successes. It's not personal. That's where that line applies so much more to this scenario than to any other. It's not personal. It's business. You can't have employees undermining the company. You can't. I'm sorry. And your feelings have nothing to do with it. Sorry, I didn't mean to be all worked up, but it just frustrated because I expected better from you, Anthony. I expected better from you. Look, if you want to side with the trans employees, you are in your right to do so, and I support you 100%. But what I will not support is misinformation and disinformation, and you're better than that. You're better than that, especially since you have been attacked countless of times from various media companies disseminating misinformation about you. You, of all people. I honestly thought you would have more forethought about that. And look, we can have a discussion if you want. I'm perfectly fine with the discussion. This discussion should and can happen, or it can and should happen, I should say. All right? But please, if you're going to go off on the internet like that, you gotta come a little harder than that, bro. So yeah, I just thought I'd share my thoughts on that because it really bothered me, especially from Fantano himself. So once again, just to reiterate, from the points that he was making about the trans employees that were suspended, about the one that was fired, and about Netflix's response. I, for one, actually think Netflix has been handling this pretty well. I think they've been handling it gracefully. They're letting them know that while they understand how they feel, how the employees feel, or even how certain people feel, that they're going to stick to their guns on this. And I think they should. Too many companies always seem to half-ass a lot of things, or they backtrack at the sign of someone having an issue. And I don't think you should do that. Stick by your guns. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. Sometimes you're going to be right. Okay? And it just goes down to matter of opinion. I, for one, think that they weren't wrong, and I, for one, think that the special was good. Now, I actually do kind of agree with one thing that Fantano said, that it is just kind of like a repeat of Sticks and Stones. And actually, that was my biggest problem with the special, too. If this is going to be the closer, I thought it would be something fantastic. Like you're going to get into other things, other topics. And while he did touch upon, or he expanded on, a bit that he did in Sticks and Stones, it was a shame that he just kind of focused mainly on that. Which, yes, I agree. But again, I don't agree with the rest of your video, Mr. Fantano. Again, love your work. I'll still watch your work. But yeah, I had an issue with what you said. I just thought I had to respond to that. Again, the trans employees that were suspended were not suspended for what they had to say or what they thought, but because they tried to break into an executive-only meeting. They tried to break into an executive-only meeting and basically voice opinions and thoughts in this meeting that they had no right of being in the first place. The trans employee that was fired from the company was fired because they leaked sensitive, private information regarding the salary of Dave Chappelle for the special. Regardless of the amount of the salary, they had no right to do that. Okay? They had no right. They had none. So yeah. This might be my worst video, but I had to rant a little bit about that. Share my thoughts on it. Anywho, I'm going to go back to work now. Take care. Bye. Peace, YouTube.